1 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 1 and 2 say this: "It is actually reported that there is sexual immorality among you, and of a kind that is not tolerated even among the pagans. For a man has his father's wife, and you are arrogant. Ought you not rather to mourn? Let him who has done this be removed from among you." End quote. In these two verses, we see that in the church in Corinth, there's a major act of sexual immorality. And the church is accepting of it. In fact, they're not just accepting of it, they are embracing it. And Paul is saying that accepting such immorality within the church is actually arrogance. Accepting such sin is an act of arrogance, not an act of love. You see, it is puffed up, it is proud, it is arrogant for a church of the Lord Jesus Christ, for a church that belongs to Jesus Christ, to think that it can accept something that God condemns. Rather, according to Paul, we should mourn it. When other people are living in sin, and those amongst us are living in sin, it should cause us to hurt and to ache because we know that's not what's best for them. A church that is accepting of sexual immorality or any other sin is actually acting in arrogance. And sadly, I think we see this all the time today with so many so-called open and affirming churches. This may sound weird. In today's culture, it seems like they are the loving ones because they are more welcoming and therefore they are more loving. We have this idea that acceptance becomes love, and therefore they love their neighbors. But open and affirming is more than just being welcoming. It's affirming sin. It's encouraging sin. And that is not actually loving. According to what Paul is saying here, such acts is arrogant. It is arrogant for a church, which is Christ's possession, Christ's people, to think that they can undermine God. It is making more of yourself and less of God. It is to think that you know better than the creator of the universe. And so Christian love is not arrogant. Christian love makes less of oneself and more of God.